Donald Trump, a billionaire businessman, filed for bankruptcy multiple times, despite making billions of dollars over his career. And that raises a serious question about money itself, because behind most of our actions in life, there is one simple motivation: the need to earn money. So what's the point of making it if the real problem is not earning it, but managing it? Right now, Americans have the highest credit card debt in history. Translation: we still haven't learned. Debt is still controlling people. And yes, this statistic comes from the US and UK, but think about your own life for a second. What is money to you? Does it feel like it comes into your life and disappears just as fast? Has that ever pushed you into bad decisions? Maybe chasing quick money, or listening to some guru promising you wealth if you just buy their course? My entire channel talks about these things, but there is something deeper. Sometimes your understanding of money matters more than your ability to make it, because your brain itself is wired in a way that can keep you financially stuck. Does it really matter if you make 6 figures a year if at the end of the year you have nothing left? So where is the problem? That's what we need to break down. And not just that, we need a better system to understand money, a system that exists in personal finance but is almost never taught properly. So what is money? Or more importantly, what does money actually represent? When you buy something on Amazon or when you get paid for your time, what is really happening? Most people say money is a tool, a medium of exchange, something we use to buy and sell. But that definition isn't complete. A better way to understand money is to see it as stored value.
But the key idea is simple. Money equals value. And this matters because many people attach emotions to money. You've probably heard, money is the root of all evil. We look at rich people and assume something negative, that they got lucky, that they took advantage of others, that someone had to lose for them to win. But we rarely ask, what value did they create? Money itself is neutral. It doesn't make someone good or bad. It just expands your options. And whatever you do with money reflects your own decisions. So money is simply value. But here's the problem. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or drowning in credit card debt, this idea alone doesn't help you. It might change your perspective, but it doesn't fix your situation. So let me ask you something else. What is your relationship with money? Money flows in and money flows out. That's the relationship. You earn and you spend. A simple way to understand this is production versus consumption. You earn money by creating value. For most people, that means working. Your time, your effort. And money leaves your life when you consume. Subscriptions, cars, housing, lifestyle. So your net worth is basically the result of how well you balance
Production and consumption. Remember the stats from earlier? Where do you think the problem is? Take a second. Think about all the money that has ever come into your life. How much of it do you still own? How much is invested? And how much is just gone? That imbalance is the real issue. A study showed that 78% of American workers live paycheck to paycheck. Even worse, people making over $100K a year still struggle the same way. And yes, you could say people always want more. But if you earn well above average and still end up with nothing, that's not an income problem. That's a consumption problem. And this is exactly why even billionaires like Donald Trump can go bankrupt, because earning money means nothing if you can't control how you use it. Now, let's talk about the rat race. People often say working a 9-to-5 is the problem, but that's not entirely true, because there are people who genuinely enjoy their jobs and live good lives. The real problem, it's not how you earn, it's how you spend.
The real rat race is not your job. The real rat race is living on the edge of financial collapse, being one paycheck away from being broke, feeling like every time money comes into your life, it disappears almost instantly. And the more responsibilities you have, the more dangerous this becomes. Losing your job, an unexpected health issue, or any sudden expense can destroy your entire financial situation. And think about the psychological pressure when you live like this. Your job is no longer a choice, it becomes survival. You are working just to maintain your lifestyle or to keep up with your debt. Like Tyler Durden said, the things you own end up owning you. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be like this. The first step in personal finance is awareness, understanding your relationship with money. And one of the most basic ways to do that is tracking your spending. Housing, transport, food, bills, entertainment. seeing where your money actually goes. This is where most people struggle because of something called the ostrich effect. It's that feeling when you avoid checking your bank account because you're afraid of what you'll see. You spend money and then pretend it didn't happen. But once you get past that, you can actually start taking control. This is where budgeting comes in, deciding in advance how much you're allowed to spend in each category and sticking to it. It's not about restriction, it's about control. You are analyzing your consumption and slowly reducing unnecessary spending so you can live below your means, because that's the goal.
Not to look rich, but to actually have money left to save and invest. And before you even think about investing, there is one rule: build an emergency fund. This is money set aside for unexpected situations, usually covering 3 to 6 months of expenses, because life will hit you, and when it does, you don't want to rely on debt. Living below your means is one of the most important ideas, because ask yourself, why live a life you can't afford? Why create pressure you don't need? And here's where it gets deeper. Your brain is working against you. There are cognitive biases that affect your financial decisions. The ostrich effect is just one. Another one is hyperbolic discounting, which means you choose short-term pleasure over long-term benefit. Instead of saving, you spend. Instead of investing, you consume. And it gets worse because you don't make decisions alone. You copy people around you. If they buy something, you feel like you need it too. If they think money is bad, you start believing the same thing. This is called keeping up with the Joneses, trying to match the lifestyle of others. They buy expensive clothes, you do the same. They upgrade their house, you follow, all because of social pressure. But here's the problem.
Today, the Joneses are not your neighbors. They are influencers, people on social media, people you don't even know. And yet, you compare your life to theirs. We all care about what others think, but when your self-worth depends on how many people like your lifestyle, you lose control. And this is why, for most people, debt becomes normal, not an exception, but a lifestyle. And let me be clear, this is not about saying buying nice things is bad. It's not. Consumption is not evil. The problem is not what you buy, it's why you buy it. Do you want to look rich, or do you want to be rich? Because those are two completely different paths. The rat race is not your job. It's the constant chase for the next thing, next paycheck, next purchase, while your real goals get pushed further and further away. But here's the good part. This can be fixed. Tracking your spending and controlling your money has been proven again and again to break this cycle. It's easy to dream about making money or imagine being rich, but none of that matters if your habits keep you stuck, losing everything or forcing you to work endlessly.
Just to maintain your lifestyle. That's the real rat race. Now let's talk about earning money, because this is where most people completely miss the point. Channels like Graham Stephan or Dave Ramsey are great at teaching you how to control spending, but they don't talk enough about increasing income. And I get why. It's easier to tell people spend less than to teach them how to earn more, especially when you're talking to a mass audience. Because not everyone can increase their income quickly, so the safest advice is always cut expenses. And we see entire communities built around this idea, like the FIRE movement. People who live extremely frugal, save aggressively, and invest everything just to retire early. Minimalism follows a similar idea: less consumption, more control. And yes, these strategies work. They help you save, they help you invest, and over time, they can build wealth.
And there's nothing wrong with that strategy. It works, especially for a wide range of people with different income levels. But let's be honest, Graham Stephan is not making $100,000 to $200,000 a month by cutting coupons or living extremely frugal. And Dave Ramsey didn't build a $50+ million net worth just by telling people to save money. These people operate on a completely different level. They use production at scale. In my previous video, I explained that money is simply a reflection of value. And the fastest way to increase your income is to increase your value. And the most powerful way to do that is to find a problem, create a solution, and deliver that solution to a large number of people. That's entrepreneurship. A scalable business creates massive value, and because of that, your income can grow exponentially, instead of being limited by your time like a normal job. But here's the important part. This is not the path for everyone, and it doesn't have to be. The goal is not to force yourself into business. The goal is to understand your own potential and decide what path actually fits you. Because increasing your income doesn't only come from starting a business. Graham Stephan uses YouTube to create content at scale. I use YouTube the same way, to create videos, to share ideas, to bring value.
Look at someone like Ben Francis with Gymshark. He built a brand and scaled it using community and value. For most people, a 9-to-5 job will still be the main source of income, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean that's your only way to create value. Understanding yourself as a producer means understanding how you can create value beyond just your job. And today, the internet makes this easier than ever. You can build, create, share, and reach people all over the world. But the real question is simple. Does the market actually need what you are creating? Because value only matters if someone is willing to pay for it. So let's bring everything together. First, understand yourself as a consumer. Track your spending. Know where your money goes. Control your habits.
Then, understand yourself as a producer. Find ways to increase your value and create more income. This combination is what builds wealth. Not just earning more, not just saving more, but doing both at the same time and doing it intentionally. Now, before you leave, I want to say one thing. If you made it this far, it means this video gave you some kind of value. So take 1 second, hit like and subscribe, because this channel is all about money, business, and how to actually build financial freedom. And if you want to go deeper, start with 2 books, The Millionaire Next Door and Your Money or Your Life. Simple ideas, but powerful. That's it. Focus on what matters. Stop chasing appearances. Start building real value. And I'll see you in the next video.